Have you ever looked at your life and thought, this is it? The dream everyone chases? That's exactly where I was 5 years ago, staring at the white picket fence of our cozy suburban home, the kind with roses climbing the trellis and a swing set in the backyard that still creaked from lazy summer afternoons. My name's Emily, and back then, I was the girl who had it all figured out. Married to Tom, the charming guy with the easy smile and steady job at the marketing firm downtown. We'd been together since college, 10 years of inside jokes, shared dreams, and those quiet mornings where he'd brew coffee just the way I liked, black with a splash of almond milk. It started so simply, you know? We met at a frat party with the fog machine and bad 80s music. He was wearing that ridiculous Hawaiian shirt, spilling punch on his shoes, and I laughed so hard my sides hurt. From there, it was like a movie script. Late night drives with the windows down, whispering about our future, kids, a house by the lake, maybe even traveling to Italy someday. We got engaged on a rainy evening in Central Park, him down on one knee with a ring that caught the streetlight just right. Our wedding? Picture perfect. White lilies everywhere, my best friend Sarah is the maid of honor, beaming in that emerald green dress. Everyone said we were the couple that made love look effortless. And for a while, it was. We built this life together, brick by brick. Tom climbed the ladder at work, landing promotions that meant fancier dinners out and weekend getaways to the coast. I quit my graphic design gig to freelance from home, chasing that flexible rhythm we both craved. Our little girl Lily came along 2 years in, curly-haired and full of giggles, with Tom's eyes and my stubborn streak. I'd watch them play in the yard, him tossing her up in the air while she squealed, and my heart would swell like it might burst. This is happiness, I'd tell myself. Don't question it. But here's the hook that pulls you in, the one that kept me up at night later on. What if the fairy tale was just a pretty mask? What if beneath the laughter and the late-night cuddles, something was rotting away? I didn't see it then, of course. Who does? Life was too busy. Diaper changes, PTA meetings, and Tom's late nights at the office that I chalked up to ambition. Sarah would drop by with wine and stories from her job at the gallery, always the vibrant one with her wild curls and infectious laugh. She'd hug me tight and say, "Em, you're glowing. Tom's a lucky guy." And I'd believe her. We were the unbreakable trio, me, Tom, and Sarah. Sisters from another mister. That's what we called it. Looking back, the first tiny crack appeared on Lily's 3rd birthday. It was a sunny June afternoon, balloons everywhere, kids running wild in the backyard. Tom was late. Again. An hour, then 2. My phone buzzed with his text. "Stuck in traffic, babe. Be there soon. Love you." I smiled for the camera, cutting the cake with Lily on my hip, but inside, a little voice whispered, "Why does it feel like he's slipping away?" Sarah showed up right on time, scooping Lily into a bear hug and whispering secrets in her ear. "Your mommy's the best," she said, winking at me. That night, when Tom finally rolled in with a sheepish grin and a half-melted ice cream cake from the store, I let it go. Hugs fixed everything back then. Or so I thought. As the months rolled on, those late nights piled up like unspoken secrets. He'd come home smelling of takeout and exhaustion, collapsing on the couch with a vague, rough day. I'd rub his shoulders, listening to half-hearted stories about clients and deadlines, wondering why his eyes didn't light up like they used to. Our intimacy faded too, not gone, but distant, like making love through a fog. I'd catch myself staring at old photos on the mantle, us on our honeymoon in Maui, sunburned and tangled in sheets, laughing at nothing. "Remember when?" I'd say softly, and he'd pull me close, murmuring, "I do, always." But his phone? It stayed face down on the nightstand more often than not, buzzing with notifications he dismissed too quickly. I pushed it down, buried it under carpools and coffee runs. After all, marriage isn't perfect, right? Everyone has rough patches. Sarah noticed, though. One girl night at our favorite Italian spot, pasta twirling on forks, red wine loosening our tongues, she leaned in and said, "Are you okay, Em? You seem stretched thin." I waved it off with a laugh. "Just mom life. Tom's killing it at work. We're good." She squeezed my hand, her eyes warm. "You've got me, always." If only I'd known then what those words really hid. By fall, the cracks were spreading. Tom's touches felt obligatory, his compliments rarer than shooting stars. Lily started asking, "Where's Daddy?" during dinner, and I'd spin tales of his big important meetings. But alone in the kitchen, scrubbing dishes under the hum of the fluorescent light, doubt crept in like fog off the bay. Was I imagining it? Or was our fairy tale fraying at the edges? Little did I know, the unraveling was just beginning, and the betrayal waiting in the wings would shatter everything I held dear. Hang on, because what came next? It would test every ounce of my strength and spark a fire I never knew I had. The air grew thicker after that night, doubts turning to daggers. But nothing could prepare me for the moment it all crashed down. You know that feeling when the sun is shining, but a chill runs down your spine anyway? That's how the next year unfolded for me, like living in a house with a leak you can't quite find. Tom and I kept up appearances, family photos on the fridge, date night squeezed in between soccer practices and staff meetings. But the distance, it grew, inch by inch, until it felt like a chasm I was tiptoeing around. I'd wake up to his side of the bed cold, the alarm clock mocking me at 6 a.m. Another early start. I'd mutter pouring cereal for Lily while he texted from the driveway, "Coffee run, back soon." Back soon turned into 20 minutes, then 30, and I'd stare out the window, wondering who he was really chatting with on that glowing screen. It wasn't jealousy at first. No, it was worry. Tom had always been my rock, the guy who would surprise me with wildflowers on Tuesdays, just because. But now, conversations skimmed the surface like stones on water. "How was your day?" I'd ask over dinner, fork pausing midair. "Fine. Busy," he'd reply, eyes on his phone. Lily would chatter about her finger paint masterpiece, pulling us back together for a moment, but even she sensed it. "Daddy's sad," she'd whisper one night, climbing into my lap as Tom snored down the hall. I hugged her tight, heart aching. "No, sweetie, just tired. Like us." Sarah was my lifeline through it all. She'd swing by after work, her artist smock still dusted with charcoal, bearing takeout and terrible rom-coms. "Spill it, Em," she'd say, popping open a bottle of Pinot. We'd curl up on the couch, Lily asleep upstairs, and I'd unload the exhaustion, the loneliness creeping in like ivy on the walls. "It's like he's here but not," I'd confess, voice cracking. Sarah would nod, her hand on mine, fierce and steady. "Men are idiots sometimes, but you're a queen. He'll snap out of it." Her words wrapped around me like a warm blanket, chasing away the shadows. She was the one constant, the friend who'd seen me through college heartbreaks and that awful appendix scare in our 20s. If anyone understood, it was her. Fall turned to winter, and the holidays hit like a spotlight on our fading spark. We hosted the neighborhood party, string lights twinkling, eggnog flowing, laughter echoing off the walls. Tom was the perfect host, charming Tom's boss and cracking jokes with the neighbors. I played along in my red sweater and heels, but midway through, I caught him in the kitchen, phone in hand, typing furiously with a secretive smile. "Work thing?" I asked lightly, topping off his drink. He pocketed it quickly. "Yeah, just an email. Don't worry." But I did. That night, as guests milled about, Sarah pulled me aside by the tree. "You look beautiful, but tired. Talk to him, Em, before it festers." Her eyes searched mine, full of that sisterly concern. I nodded, promising I would. But when? New Year's Eve sealed the shift. We had tickets to that fancy downtown gala, black tie, champagne toasts, the works. Tom's firm had splurged, a team-building perk. I slipped into my emerald gown, the one Sarah had helped pick out, saying it made my eyes pop, and waited by the mirror, nerves fluttering. He came home late, tie already loosened, smelling faintly of bourbon. "Ready?" he asked, kissing my cheek like an afterthought. The drive was silent, city lights blurring past until I couldn't hold it in. "Tom, are we okay? Really?" He sighed, gripping the wheel. "Em, it's stress. The promotion's killing me. Let's not do this tonight." His words stung, but I swallowed them, pasting on a smile as we stepped into the ballroom. The night blurred, dancing under chandeliers, small talk with strangers. Sarah was there too, stunning in silver, dragged along by a mutual friend. She found me at the bar, swirling a flute of bubbly. "Where's Prince Charming?" she teased. I glanced across the room, where Tom laughed with a cluster of colleagues. Networking, I guess. We clinked glasses, her arm linking mine, and for a moment, it felt light again. But as midnight struck, fireworks exploding outside, Tom pulled away to take a call in the lobby. 5 minutes, he mouthed. 10 passed. 20. Sarah and I watched the countdown without him, her countdown with me feeling like a quiet betrayal of its own. By spring, the conflicts weren't whispers anymore. They were shouts I ignored. Tom's business trips multiplied, weekends vanishing into vague itineraries. I'd scroll through his social media, liking posts of team lunches and client wins, searching for clues in the comments. Lily's questions grew sharper. Why is Daddy always gone? I'd bake cookies with her, distracting her with chocolate chips and stories of far-off adventures. But inside, anger simmered, a slow burn I named worry to keep it contained. Sarah sensed it, inviting me to her gallery opening one rainy April night. "You need a break, Em. Come see my chaos." I went, leaving Lily with the sitter, desperate for air. The gallery buzzed, abstract paintings in bold strokes, wine glasses clinking. Sarah greeted me like a hero, looping her arm through mine. "Look at you, glowing despite everything." We wandered the rooms, her passion lighting up the space. Then, across the crowd, I spotted Tom, not with his team, but slipping in quietly, eyes scanning until they landed on Sarah. He smiled, that real, unguarded smile I hadn't seen in months, and she lit up too, waving him over. "Surprise," she said, hugging him tight. My stomach twisted. "What are you doing here?" I asked, voice steady but heart pounding. Tom shrugged. "Sarah invited me, thought it'd be fun." Fun. The word hung there, heavy as lead. As we posed for a photo, the three of us, arms around each other, I felt the ground shift. Was this just a coincidence, or the first thread pulling loose? That night, driving home in silence, questions swirled like storm clouds. Why hadn't Sarah mentioned inviting him? Why did their hug linger? I shoved it down, blaming the wine, the exhaustion. But as I tucked Lily in, kissing her forehead, a resolve hardened in my chest. No more ignoring the shadows. I deserved answers. Little did I know, the truth lurking just beyond would rip my world apart and set the stage for a revenge that would echo for years. The next morning dawned gray, mirroring the ache in my soul. Little did I know, one careless click would unleash the floodgates. Sometimes the smallest thread can pull an entire sweater apart. For me, that thread was a forgotten jacket. Tom's navy blazer, slung over the armchair in our bedroom like it owned the place. It was a Tuesday in May, the kind where sunlight filters through the curtains and tricks you into believing everything's fine. Lily was at preschool, humming Twinkle, Twinkle as I dropped her off, and I had the house to myself for once. Rare luxury. I planned to tackle the laundry mountain armed with podcasts and fresh coffee, but as I grabbed that blazer to toss in the wash, something fluttered out. A receipt, crisp and accusing, from a cozy bistro downtown. Date stamped last Friday, 2 entrees, pasta primavera and steak frites. Total, $87.43. My mind raced. Friday? He'd said he was working late, grabbing takeout solo. I remember texting him a heart emoji at 8 p.m., his reply a quick, "Miss you." But 2 meals? I sat on the bed with the receipt in hand, pulse quickening. It could be nothing, a client dinner. Yeah, that made sense. Still, I folded it into my pocket, a seed of unease taking root. That afternoon, Sarah called, her voice bubbly over speakerphone as I folded socks. Lunch tomorrow, my treat. There's this new cafe with killer lattes. I hesitated, the receipt burning a hole in my pocket. Sure, but hey, did you grab dinner with Tom last Friday? He left a receipt in his jacket. Silence stretched, then her laugh, light, dismissive. Me? I was buried in sketches. Why? I let it go, chalking it up to paranoia, but the seeds sprouted. The conflicts escalated from there, subtle at first, then crashing like waves. Tom's phone became a fortress, passcode changed without explanation, notifications silenced. I'd catch him in the garage murmuring into it late at night, voice low and urgent. Not now. Yeah, I know. Who was on the other end? I'd ask casually over breakfast, "Everything okay at work?" He'd nod, too quickly. Just deadlines. Lily picked up on it too, her little brows furrowing during story time. Daddy's phone makes him grumpy. I'd hug her, whispering, "It's okay, Bug. Daddy loves us." But did he? The question clawed at me, nights spent staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, replaying moments like a detective in my own life. Sarah remained my anchor, or so I thought. Our lunches became ritual, salads and secrets under cafe awnings. One humid June day, as rain pattered on the windows, I finally cracked open. Tom's distant, like he's somewhere else. She reached across the table, eyes wide with empathy. "Oh, that's awful. Have you talked?" I shook my head, tears pricking. He brushes it off. "And these trips, 3 this month alone." She squeezed my hand. "You're too good for games. Confront him. You deserve the truth." Her words fueled me, a spark in the dim. That night, I waited up, wine glass in hand, heart hammering. Tom stumbled in at 11, loosening his tie. "We need to talk," I said, voice steady. He froze, then sighed. Not now. I'm beat." The dismissal hit like a slap. "When then? When do I matter?" He pulled me into a hug, murmuring apologies, but it felt hollow, like hugging a ghost. Summer brought heat and heightened tension. Family vacation to the lake house, our annual escape packed with kayaks and campfires. I hoped it'd mend us, rekindle the flame. Lily splashed in the shallows, her laughter a balm, while Tom grilled burgers, beer in hand. But evenings? He'd vanish for walks, phone glued to his palm. One night, under a blanket of stars, I found him by the dock, texting furiously. The glow lit his face, smiling, secretive. "Who's that?" I asked softly, stepping closer. He startled, pocketing it. Work. Go back to bed. The lie hung between us, thick as humidity. I retreated, chest tight, vowing silently, no more. Back home, the unraveling accelerated. Bills piled up oddly, charges at hotels I'd never heard of, florist deliveries without cards. I started a mental ledger, pieces clicking like a puzzle I didn't want to solve. Sarah noticed my distraction during our poolside hangout, her backyard oasis with floating lanterns and chilled rosé. "Earth to Emily," she teased, splashing my feet. I forced a smile. "Just everything feels off." She dove deeper, sharing her own dating woes, a string of flops that made mine seem tame. "At least you have Tom," she said wistfully. I nodded, but inside, doubt roared. Was she right? Or was I blind? The breaking point loomed in August, Lily's back-to-school barbecue at the park. Neighbors everywhere, kids chasing frisbees, the air thick with charcoal smoke. Tom was late. Shocker. Texting apologies. Sarah arrived first, arms full of brownies, hugging me fiercely. "You got this, Mama Bear." We chatted with parents, her arm linked in mine, until Tom's truck pulled up. He jogged over, all charm, but his eyes darted. Guilty? Excited? As we posed for the group photo, his hand on my waist felt like an act. Later, as dusk fell, I overheard him on a call behind the playground slide. "Yeah, tomorrow, can't late." My blood ran cold. Tomorrow? He had a meeting. That night, rage bubbled over. I confronted him in the kitchen, voice low so Lily wouldn't hear. "Who's tomorrow really for, Tom?" He denied it, eyes flashing. "You're paranoid, Em. It's nothing." The fight escalated, whispers turning to accusations, tears streaming. "I feel like I'm losing you," I cried. He stormed out, slamming the door. Alone, I sank to the floor, sobs racking me. Sarah texted then, "Heard you two had words? Call me." I did, pouring it out. "I don't know what to do." Her voice soothed. "You're strong, Em. Trust your gut." Trust my gut. Those words echoed as I hung up, staring at the ceiling. But what if my gut was leading me straight into hell? The storm was gathering and the betrayal was about to break. It would leave me in pieces, questioning every smile, every hug. But from those ashes, a plan would rise, one so clever it would shake our world to its core. Betrayal doesn't announce itself with trumpets. It slips in quietly, like a shadow at noon, and then, bam, it blindsides you. For me, it happened on a crisp September morning, the kind where leaves crunch underfoot and the air smells of change. Lily was off to her first day of kindergarten, backpack bouncing as she waved goodbye from the bus stop. I waved back, heart full and fragile, then headed inside to tackle emails. Tom had left early, another meeting, kissing my forehead with that distracted peck. His laptop sat on the kitchen island, lid half closed, tempting me like forbidden fruit. I'd never snooped before. It felt wrong, a violation. But after last night's fight, trust was a threadbare rag. "Just a quick check," I whispered to the empty room, fingers trembling as I opened it. "Password? Our anniversary. Of course." The screen bloomed to life, desktop cluttered with spreadsheets and memes. I scanned folders, work stuff mostly. Then, buried in downloads, a file caught my eye. Vacation pics, private. Vacation? We hadn't gone anywhere. Heart thudding, I clicked. Photos flooded the screen, not our lake house memories, but stolen moments. Tom and Sarah, smiling in a sunlit cafe, arms linked on a beach boardwalk. Her head on his shoulder during a movie, his hand in hers under a restaurant table. Timestamp, last month's business trip. My breath hitched, vision blurring,
More scrolled by, kisses in a parked car, her laughing at his jokes, intimate whispers captured in selfies. The final one gutted me. Them in our bed. Our bed. Sheets rumpled, her curls splayed on my pillow, his arm possessive around her. Dated 2 weeks ago, while I shopped for Lily's school supplies. The world tilted. I stumbled back, laptop slamming shut, nausea rising like bile. No. Not Sarah. Not my best friend, the one who'd held my hand through labor, toasted my promotions, cried with me over bad hair days. The trio shattered in pixels. I grabbed my phone, fingers flying to her number. We need to talk. Now. Her reply, everything okay? Lunch? Lunch, as if butter wouldn't melt. I paced the kitchen, rage and grief warring inside, hot tears streaming, fists clenched till knuckles whitened. How long? The signs were played. Her knowing glances, his secretive smiles, the coincidences stacking like dominoes. Our friendship? A lie. Our marriage? A farce. By noon, I met her at our spot, the corner booth with the vinyl seats and endless coffee refills. She breezed in all effortless grace in jeans and a flowing blouse, hugging me like nothing. Em, you look wrecked. What's up? I slid the printed photo across the table, the beach one, waves crashing behind their stolen joy. Her head drained from color, eyes widening. Em, don't, I hissed, voice a whip. How long, Sarah? How long have you been in my bed, my life? She crumbled, tears spilling. It wasn't planned. It just happened. A year, maybe. I'm so sorry. A year? While I confided in her, I bared my soul, while she nodded sympathy, plotting in shadows. The betrayal poured out then, her words tumbling, excuses laced with regret. Tom was happy, Em, stressed. We connected at that gallery event. One drink led to... Connected? While I was drowning. You were my sister. I laughed, bitter and broken. She reached for my hand. I yanked away. Details spilled unwillingly. Secret weekends in the city, texts coded as art supply runs, even covering for him at family dinners. We never meant to hurt you, she sobbed. Never? Meant? To? As if intent erased the knife twist. I sat there numb, the cafe noise fading to a hum. Shock wrapped me like ice, anger simmering beneath, but grief winning. My husband, my friend, both thieves in the night. I left her there, tears drying on her cheeks, driving home in a daze. Lily's drawings mocked me from the fridge, stick figure families, hearts everywhere. I curled on the couch, sobs racking me, until the front door clicked. Tom home. Early, concern etching his face. Em, what's wrong? I held up the photo, voice steel. This. Explain. His mask cracked, guilt flooding his eyes. He sank beside me, head in hands. God, Em, I messed up. It started as nothing, but nothing. The word ignited me. We argued for hours, him begging forgiveness, me hurling accusations like grenades. Sarah? Of all people? He admitted it all. The pull of her energy, the escape from our routine, the lies that snowballed. I love you, Em. This was a mistake. Love, hollow as an echo. Night fell, Lily tucked in, oblivious, and I lay awake beside him, a stranger now. Questions clawed. How do you rebuild on ruins? Do you? By dawn, resolve hardened. No screaming matches, no messy scenes for Lily. But justice? Oh, it brewed. I wouldn't shatter. I'd strategize. As Tom showered, murmuring more apologies through the door, I texted Sarah, "We're done. Don't contact me." Her reply? A flood of pleas. Deleted. The betrayal had gutted me, left scars that burned, but in that pain, power stirred. A clever move, one that would expose them, shake our world to its core without a single drop of blood. But first, I had to gather the pieces and forge a weapon from the wreckage. The days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy, but inside I was a storm building. What did I plan next? It would turn their secrets against them in ways they never saw coming.
Grief hits different when it's laced with fury, like swallowing glass, sharp and unrelenting. The week after the revelation, I moved through life like a ghost in my own skin. Mornings, forcing smiles for Lily's pancakes, her chatter a lifeline pulling me from the abyss. Afternoons, freelance gigs on autopilot, designs blurring as Tom's face, guilty, pleading, haunted every screen. Nights, alone in the guest room, door locked, replaying their betrayal in loops that stole my sleep. "Why me?" I'd whisper to the dark ceiling, tears soaking the pillow. Not just the affair, the deeper cut of Sarah's knife. She'd known my fears, held my hand through doubts, then twisted it all into her gain. Trust? Shattered like fine china on tile. Tom tried. God, he tried. Flowers on the counter, notes in my lunch. I choose us, always. Vacations dingled like carrots. Let's go away, fix this. But his eyes, they darted, waiting for absolution I couldn't give. We'd talk in hushed tones after Lily's bedtime, him on the couch, me across the room like a courtroom divide. I ended it, Em. Sarah's out of the picture. Lies. I'd seen the deleted texts peeking from his recycle bin. Late night, "I'm sorry's" from her. His replies soft with regret. Ended? More like paused. Anger flared then, hot and righteous. "You think words erase a year of my pain? Our bed, Tom. Our bed." He'd crumble, promising therapy, change. But promises from a liar? Smoke. I leaned on what was left. Lily's hugs, long walks where autumn leaves crunched, therapy for my soul, and quiet moments with my sister, Claire, who flew in from across state lines after a frantic call. "Em, you're a warrior," she'd say, brewing tea in my kitchen, her no-nonsense vibe balm. We poured over it all, photos, timelines, her outrage mirroring mine. "They don't deserve you," she'd affirm, plotting escape routes, lawyers, new apartments. But revenge? That was mine alone. Not petty jabs or public rants. No, something smarter. Something that would expose their web, leave them tangled in their own threads, while I walked away whole. The plan sparked late one night, laptop glowing in the dim guest room. I'd been scrolling support forums, women like me, rebuilding from ashes. One post stuck, "Don't fight fire with fire, fight it with light. Shine on their shadows." Light. Exposure. Not screaming in the streets, but a calculated reveal that would unravel them socially, professionally, and emotionally. Tom's firm prized image, family man, reliable team player. Sarah's gallery? Her career hinged on connections, trust. What if I gifted them truth wrapped in elegance? No violence, no vitriol, just facts served cold. Step 1, evidence. I started small, heart pounding as I synced his cloud account, old password, careless of him. Emails poured out, flirty threads with Sarah, hotel bookings under fake names, even voice memos of their whispers. "Miss you already." I archived it all, a digital vault of their undoing. Photos too, blurred but damning, faces clear in stolen joy. My hands shook, bile rising, but I pressed on. For Lily, for the woman they dimmed. Next, allies. Claire connected me to a discreet PI friend, not for stalking, but verification. Confirm timelines, I instructed. Reports trickled in.
Rendezvous at that bistro. Sarah's card, his office lot after hours. Ironclad. Sarah's pleas escalated, voicemails begging, one chance to explain, texts flooding. I love him, but I love you more. Delete. Block. But one message slipped through. We can fix this. The three of us, like old times. Old times? The gall ignited me. I drafted my manifesto, not a rant, but a narrative. A letter polished and poised, outlining the affair's arc. Dates, deceptions, the double betrayal. Not for court yet, but for circles that mattered. Tom's boss, a family friend who'd toasted our wedding. Sarah's mentor, Alina, the aunt who'd bankrolled her dreams and adored me like a niece. Even neutral players, the PTA mom who'd always side-eyed Sarah's flair. No mob, just ripples that would swell to waves. I composed emails, neutral tone, factual ledger. A difficult truth. My husband and closest friend have been unfaithful for a year. Details attached for your discretion. Attachments? Redacted timelines. Blurred photos. Not slander. Truth, served sans venom. Sending them? Gut-wrenching. First a hard move, fingers hovering over send as Tom's snores drifted from the hall. Click. Then Alina, her reply swift. Emily, darling, heartbroken for you. This changes everything. Validation washed over me, tears hot. Claire high-fived, seeds planted. But leaks worried me, Tom's intuition sharpening. One dinner, as Lily mashed potatoes, he probed, You're quiet lately. Still mad? I met his gaze, fork steady. Mad? No. Clear-eyed. He frowned, but let it slide. Sarah's silence helped. Blocked, but rumors trickled via Claire. Her frantic calls to mutuals, damage control starting. Good. Let her squirm. Next layer, the prop. I enlisted a graphic designer friend, an anonymous fee, no questions, for a custom piece, a shadow box frame, elegant walnut, holding mementos of their affair. Printed emails curled like love letters, a keychain from that bistro, a pressed flower from their beach day. Not grotesque, a museum of deceit, to be gifted at the gala. I'd approach the auction table, slip it in with Sarah's pieces, labeled Untitled Collaboration, Shadows of Trust. Patrons would bid, unwrap, and gasp. Exposure, artfully veiled. Claire chuckled. Diabolical. I love it. We rehearsed, me in the mirror, voice calm, a piece from the heart, or what's left of it. But temptation struck mid-plan, a curveball from fate. A rainy Thursday, Tom's phone buzzed on the counter, forgotten in his rush. Sarah's name flashed, unblocked somehow. Message. Can't stop thinking about you. We need to talk alone. My blood boiled, but curiosity won. I scrolled, a thread of longing, her admitting panic over loose ends. Loose ends? Me? I forwarded it to my vault, then replied from his phone, Meet me. Tomorrow, usual spot. Usual spot, the park bench by the pond, their hideaway per the PI. Heart racing, I staked an out from my car, binoculars borrowed from Claire. They arrived separately, Tom first, pacing, Sarah second, hood up like a spy. Their reunion, a dagger twist. Hugs turned heated, whispers urgent. She suspects, but we can salvage. Salvage? Their lie of a life, sans me? I watched, unseen, fury crystallizing. No confrontation, not yet. Instead, I snapped photos, damning proof, time-stamped. Back home, I added them to the shadow box, sealing with resolve. That night, Tom slipped into bed, oblivious, murmuring, love you, in sleep. I stared at the ceiling, plan sharpening. No more half measures. The gallo would be the anvil, their affair the hammer. As leaves turned fiery, so did I. Therapy honed my edge. Channel pain to purpose, my counselor urged. I visualized the fallout, gasps rippling, faces paling, their worlds contracting while mine expanded. Lily's school play became my joy, her as a tree in the giving tree, hugging me post-curtain with sticky hands. Best mommy! Pure light amid shadows. Claire departed with a fierce embrace. Shake it good, sis. Alone, I polished the letter for the group chat. Post-gala drop from Maximum Echo. Word count low, impact high. Truth unveiled tonight. Hearts break, but honesty heals. Doubts whispered still. Would Lily suffer? Would I regret? But anger answered. They chose deceit. I chose dignity. The ambush was set. Weapon subtle, strike precise. As the gala eve dawned, fog lifting from the hills, excitement thrummed. Tomorrow, their secrets would bloom into scandal, shaking everyone from foundations up. My clever move? Not revenge's roar, but a whisper that roared eternal. But as doors opened that night, one final surprise awaited, testing if my fire would consume or illuminate. The ballroom lights beckoned like stars in a storm, and I stepped in, ready, resolute. What unfolded next would etch itself in infamy. Nights like the Harvest Gala don't just happen, they simmer, building pressure until the lid blows. I arrived fashionably late, crimson dress hugging like armor, heels clicking a war drum on marble floors. The ballroom hummed, jazz saxophone weaving through chatter, gowns swirling in jewel tones, champagne flutes catching light like diamonds. Our town at its polished best, judges mingling with artists, executives toasting deals. I scanned the crowd, Hargrove by the bar, nodding gravely. My emails echo. Elena near Sarah's exhibit, brow furrowed. Seeds sprouting. Tom spotted me first, weaving through with 2 glasses, smile strained. You came? Stunning, Em. His eyes begged truth. I accepted the flute. Cool. Wouldn't miss it. Lie. Sweet as fizz. Sarah's corner drew murmurs, canvases of turbulent blues and golds, her signature chaos. She fluttered among patrons, silver gown shimmering, laugh tinkling like glass. Our eyes met across the room. Hers widened, pleading. I nodded once, civil mask intact, and turned away. Inside, turmoil churned, hurt fresh as a bruise, but purpose steadied. Claire's text buzzed, break a leg, love you. Anchor. I circulated, small talk a shield, PTA moms gushing over Lily, old classmates probing, how's married life? Eventful, I'd quip, smile razor sharp. Tom hovered, arm brushing mine possessively, habit, not heart. Dance? He offered. I declined. Later, mingling first. The auction table gleamed, Sarah's pieces up for bid, paddles waving. Heart pounding, I approached the coordinator, a flustered woman in pearls. I'd like to donate a last-minute entry for Miss Reed's collection. She beamed. Wonderful. Theme? Betrayal's beauty. I slid the shadow box across, wrapped in black silk ribbon, label elegant, collaborative shadows, a gift of truth. Inside, their mementos waited, coiled like snakes. She cataloged it, number 17. Bidding starts in 20. 20 minutes to detonation. I slipped away, pulse racing, snagging a shadowed alcove to breathe. Questions assailed. Would it work? Backfire? But no, this was chess, not roulette. Tom cornered me then, breath wine-tinged. Em, about us? Can we try? His hand on my arm, familiar, false. I pulled back gently. Tonight's not for us, Tom. It's for truths. He frowned, confused. What do you mean? Before I could answer, Sarah approached, Elena in tow. Emily, she breathed, voice threadbare. Please, talk. Elena's eyes flicked between us, sharp. Girls, everything all right? Sarah nodded too quickly. I smiled serenely. Old friends catching up. Elena hummed, unconvinced, of my letter's work. As they drifted, Sarah whispered fiercely, "Don't do this. For Lily." Lily. Her using my daughter's name? Fuel. "You did this," I murmured. "Live with it." Bidding commenced, jazz swelling. Numbers climbed, Sarah's abstracts fetching thousands, applause rippling. Then, number 17. A mysterious donation, collaborative shadows by Anonymous and Miss Reed. Paddles raised tentatively, bids crawled to 500. A collector in tweed won at 8, beaming as the coordinator handed over the box. "Unwrap here, for drama," she trilled. The crowd leaned in, curious. Tom nearby chuckled obliviously. Sarah paled, inching closer. The ribbon fell. The lid lifted. Gasps erupted, first soft, then a wave. Emails unfurled, photos glimpsed, Tom's face unmistakable, Sarah's curls damning. Whispers ignited. "Is that? No way." Hargrove's jaw dropped. Elena gasped, hand to throat. Sarah lunged, voice shrill. "That's not—" But too late. The collector, horrified, shoved it back. "What is this?" Chaos bloomed, patrons clustering, phones emerging. Tom froze, color draining as recognition hit. "M, what did you do?" His whisper was accusal with fear. I met his eyes, calm as a lake before a storm. "What you forced me to." He stammered denials, but the tide turned, Hargrove approaching, face thunderous. "Tom, a word." And Sarah dissolved in tears, staring her away. "Explain now." The jazz faltered, MC ad-libbing filler. I stood amid the whirlwind, heart soaring, not joy, but release. Their world cracked, mine unshackled. But the night wasn't done. As fallout swirled, one more thread pulled, leading to the explosion that would seal it all. The whispers grew to roars, but I held steady because the real climax was just igniting, and it would burn bright. Climax isn't a single bang. It's the crescendo, notes piling until the orchestra breaks. The gala dissolved into that frenzy, air thick with scandal's perfume. The shadow box lay abandoned on the auction table like a gutted fish, its contents spilling secrets for all to devour. Phones flashed, discreet videos, group text firing. "Did you see Tom and Sarah?" Our town's grapevine, ever efficient, lit up like fireworks. Tom staggered toward me, face ashen, grabbing my elbow. "Emily, tell them it's a joke, a misunderstanding." His voice cracked, desperation raw. I shook him off, voice even. "Truth isn't a joke, Tom. It's just out." He reeled, eyes wild, the family man facade crumbling under spotlights. Sarah fared worse, cornered by Elena near her exhibit. "You used my trust, my funding for this deceit?" Elena's voice carried, patrons straining their ears. Sarah sobbed, makeup streaking. "It was a mistake. Emily's twisting it." "Twist?" The audacity fueled the fire. I approached then, heels steady, crowd parting like the Red Sea. "Twist? Here's the frame, Sarah. Your words, your moments." I nodded to the box. A guest held up an email printout, reading aloud. "Can't wait for our escape. Love S." Gasps swelled. Elena recoiled. "You're done, girl. My support ends tonight." Sarah crumpled, reaching for me. "M, please. We're friends." "Friends?" The word ignited laughter. Mine. Sharp and free. "Were." Past tense. Pandemonium peaked as Hargrove hauled Tom aside, voice booming. Office, Monday. This is career suicide. Colleague circled, murmurs venomous. Knew he was too smooth. Poor Emily. How'd she find out? Poor me? No pity wanted, just justice served. Piping hot. Tom spun back, pleading. Em, for Lily, don't ruin us. Lily. My shield, my sword. You ruined us, Tom. Months ago. This
Just the bill. His face twisted, anger flashing, then defeat. He stormed toward the exit, coat snatched, but not before a reporter from the local paper cornered him. "Mr. Grant, care to comment on the affair?" Flashbulbs popped. He bolted, door slamming, echo. Sarah tried to salvage, grabbing a mic from the MC, voice quavering. "Everyone, this is personal, a private matter." Boos rippled, rare for our polite town. A patron shouted, "Private? You paraded it." She fled then, silver gown trailing like surrender. Elena's glare, her epitaph. The jazz resumed, tinny and forced, but the vibe shifted. Eyes on me now. Curious, compassionate. A neighbor squeezed my arm. "Brave, Em. So brave." Brave? Or broken? Inside, emotions warred. Triumph's rush, grief's undertow. I'd shaken their world, reputations quaking, futures fracturing. But mine trembled too, aftershocks of what was lost. I slipped to the balcony for air, cool night wrapping me, city lights twinkling below. Claire called, "Heard the buzz, you legend. Home safe?" Laughter bubbled, real this time. Shook it good. But solitude brought the crash. Tears hot, body shaking, betrayal's echo. How could they? For what? Thrill? Escape? Questions swirled, but answers paled to action's catharsis. Footsteps approached. I tensed. Not Tom, not Sarah, but Hargrove, glass in hand. "Emily," he rumbled, offering it. "That took guts. Firm's cutting him loose, quietly. For you. For me." Vindication, velvet gloved. "Thank you," I whispered. He nodded. "Heal. You're gold. Gold. Buried, but gleaming." Back inside, the crowd thinned, whispers following like smoke. I fielded hugs, condolences. "If you need anything." Strength surged. I was no victim. As midnight tolled, I claimed the shadow box, cradling it like a trophy. Their poison, my power. Tom texted, frantic, "Come home, we talk." Home? The word soured. Reply, "Packing your things. Goodbye." Sarah's ping followed. "Forgive?" Deleted. The climax crusted not in screams, but silence's roar. Their lies exposed, world rocked, colleagues distancing, friends choosing sides, mine mostly. I left to applause, spontaneous, warm, crimson queen amid ruins. But climaxes fade to dawn, and mine brought clarity. Justice tasted bittersweet, but oh, it cleansed. What rose next? Not ashes, but phoenix wings, rebuilding on solid ground. The drive home blurred through tears and stars, Gala's echo fading, but resolution waited, a new chapter unfolding with grace. Resolution isn't fireworks. It's the quiet rebuild, brick by careful brick. After the storm, strips you bare. The morning after the gala dawned soft, sunlight slanting through curtains like an apology. Lily stirred first, padding into my room with bedhead and bear in tow. "Mommy, why are your sad dress on the floor?" I pulled her close, inhaling her syrup-sweet scent. "Just a fancy night bug. Pancakes?"
She beamed, oblivious, my North Star. Tom didn't come home that night. His texts piled up. At a hotel, please, talk. I didn't. Instead, I texted Claire. It's done. Coming over? Her reply, door open, wine chilled. Sanctuary. The fallout cascaded swiftly. By noon, Hargrove called. Tom's out, effective immediately. Severance minimal. No gloating, just relief. A weight lifted. Alana emailed Sarah's termination from her mentorship. Betrayal erodes art's soul, wishing you growth. The group chat exploded, neighbors aghast, offers of play dates in ears. Strong woman alert, one cheered. I read, heart swelling, not at their pain, but my preservation. Sarah's gallery pulled her show remnants, whispers of blacklisting swirled. Tom? Radio silence turned to voicemails, broken apologies, pleas for one more chance. I saved them, not for torment, but proof. Lawyer next, a sharp woman named Rita, Claire's wreck. Divorce papers drafting, custody, 50-50, but you're golden. Golden. Echo of Hargrove. Packing his things was a ritual. Boxes in the garage, clothes folded neatly despite the ache. His cologne lingered, ghosting memories. College laughs, Lily's birth tears. Grief hit waves. Sobs over his favorite mug, shattered on tile. But anger buoyed. He chose shadows, I chose sun. Lily helped unwillingly, stacking books with glee. Daddy's tower! I hugged her. New adventure, sweetie. By evening, boxes lined the curb. His life, shipped to a storage unit. Freedom's first breath. Claire hosted that night, wine flowing, pizza devoured, her stories distracting. You shook it, Em. Their world's rubble. Yours? Canvas. Canvas. Blank, begging color. Weeks blurred to months, seasons shifting, leaves falling, then snow dusting the yard. Divorce proceedings chugged, assets split fair, Tom contrite in meetings, eyes downcast. I lost everything. Everything? Try trust, heart, and home. But I nodded. You did. Now rebuild. Custody settled amicably, weekends his, fireflies and forts. Lily thrived, her questions gentle. Daddy happy? I'd affirm. Learning to be. Tom joined once, awkward but earnest, tension thawing to truce. Thanks for handling it with grace, he said post-dinner. Grace? Earned, not given. But for Lily, I offered an olive branch. Spring brought bloom. Our first girls' trip, Claire and me to the coast. Waves crashed, salt air healing scars. Look at you, she marveled, toes in sand. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. The word fit, forged in fire. Back home, I hosted a fresh start barbecue, neighbors toasting my courage, laughter real. No Tom, no Sarah, just me, Lily, community, wrapping warm. The shadow box, donated anonymously to a women's shelter, a tale of exposure and empowerment, the note read. Full circle. Resolution wrapped gently, not perfect, but peaceful. Betrayal sting dulled to a lesson. Trust earned, instincts heated. I'd shaken their world, yes, but in so doing, reclaimed mine. Stronger, wiser, open to joy's quiet knock. As chapters close, reflections linger, like stars guiding the healed heart. And the moral? It whispers, eternal. Stories like mine don't end with the final page. They echo, rippling out to touch lives you never see. Looking back now, 2 years post-gala, from my cozy apartment overlooking the park, Lily's crayons scattered, my latest design pinned to the wall, I see the art clear, from facade to fracture, pain to power. That night shook more than Tom and Sarah's world. It realigned mine, proving one woman's clever stand can topple empires of deceit. But the true gift? The lessons carved deep, a moral compass for anyone navigating betrayal's fog. First, trust your gut. It's wiser than the heart sometimes pines. Those early cracks, whispers I dismissed as just life, but instincts are guardians, nudging toward truth before it blindsides. If I'd listened sooner, pain might have lessened, but then so would have the growth. Ladies and gents, that twinge in your chest, honor it. Ask the questions, demand the answers. Silence breeds shadows, light scatters them. Second, betrayal's blade cuts deepest from those closest. Friends turn foes, loves turn liars. Sarah's twist was a masterclass in guarded hearts. Not cynicism, no, but boundaries, fierce and firm. Pour into those who pour back. The rest, let fade. Forgiveness? Optional, not obligatory. I chose none for her, and that's okay. Healing didn't hinge on her remorse. Tom's too. Co-parenting cordial, but walls high. Love evolves. Sometimes it ends to make space for self-love, the sturdiest kind. And third, revenge isn't poison if it's purposeful, justice wrapped in dignity. My move? No mudslinging, no endless war. Exposure, elegant and final. Freed me without chains. It shook everyone. Town tales still murmur that gala bombshell, but the impact rippled positively. Women confiding, you inspired me to leave. Friends vowing loyalty test. Power isn't domination. It's reclaiming narrative, turning victim to victor. If you're plotting payback, pause. Does it empower you? Lift others? Mine did. Shadowbox now a shelter symbol. My story a spark. And the biggest reflection? Resilience blooms in ruins. Post-betrayal, I
Rebuilt not despite the break, but because of it. Lily's 7 now. Fierce, kind, with a laugh that heals. My business? Thriving. Collaborations with galleries, ironic, eh? Dates? One steady guy, Mark. Walks, no rush, trust. Rebuilding slowly. Life's richer. Solo trips to Italy, check. Art classes with Lily, sunset savored solo. Betrayal broke me open, but oh, the light that poured in. If this tale stirred you, shock at the affair, anger at the gall, relief at the reckoning, know you're not alone. We've all faced Judases, felt the quake. But here's the moral's heart. From ashes, you rise, not unchanged, but unchained. Betrayal tests, revenge tempers, justice frees. Shake your world if you must, but build one worth inhabiting. Trust, love, live bold. And if shadows creep, remember Emily, clever moves conquered quiet. Thanks for walking this path with me. Your time, your heart. Hit like if it hit home. Subscribe for more tales of triumph. What's your story? Drop below. Until next time, stay fierce, stay true.